a WikiVidi Documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Janelle Monáe. Janelle Monáe Robinson is an American singer, songwriter, rapper, record producer, actress, and model. She is signed to her own imprint, Wonderland Arts Society, and Atlantic Records. After her first unofficial studio album, The Audition, she publicly debuted with a conceptual EP titled Metropolis, Sweet Eye, which peaked at number 115 on the Billboard 200 in the United States. In 2010, Monáe released her critically acclaimed first full-length studio album The ArchAndroid, a concept album sequel to her first EP. It was released by Bad Boy Records and reached the number 17 spot on the Billboard 200. In March 2012, We Are Young, by Fun, on which Monáe appears as a guest vocalist, reached number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, her first appearance in the chart. In August 2012, Monáe became a CoverGirl spokeswoman. On September 10, 2013, she released her second studio album, The Electric Lady, to critical acclaim. Boston City Council named October 16, 2013, Janelle Monáe Day, in the city of Boston, Massachusetts, in recognition of her artistry and social leadership. In 2016, she had major roles in 2 feature films, Hidden Figures and Moonlight, for which she received widespread praise. Her upcoming third studio album Dirty Computer will be released on April 27, 2018, preceded by its first 2 singles, Django Jane and Make Me Feel. Monáe's music has garnered her 6 Grammy Award nominations. Early life. Monáe was born in Kansas City, Kansas, where she spent her early years. She is the daughter of a janitor mother and a truck driver father, Michael Robinson Summers. She dreamed of being a singer and a performer from a very young age, and has cited the fictional character of Dorothy Gale from The Wizard of Oz as a musical influence. She moved to New York City to study drama at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy, attending a performing arts camp called Freedom Theater, the oldest African-American theater in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. After moving to Atlanta, Georgia in 2001, she met Outkast's Big Boi, and then founded the Wonderland Arts Society with some like-minded young artists. She released her first EP The Audition in 2003. Reportedly limited to only 400 physical copies, it showcased her vocal abilities and unique Metropolis concept that would also figure in her future releases. The CD album itself is extremely rare in its original compact disc format, and as such is a valuable collector's item. Monáe later appeared on Outkast's album Idlewild, where she is featured on the songs Call the Law and In Your Dreams. Big Boi told his friend Sean Combs about Monáe, whom at the time Combs had not yet heard. Combs soon visited Monáe's MySpace page, and according to a Hit Quarters interview with Bad Boy Records A&R person Daniel Skid Mitchell, Combs loved it straight away. He loved her look, loved that you couldn't see her body, loved the way she was dancing, and just loved the vibe. He felt like she has something that was different, something new and fresh. Monáe signed to Bad Boy in 2006. The label's chief role was in facilitating her exposure on a much broader scale rather than developing the artist and her music. Because in the words of Mitchell, she was already moving, she already had her records, she had a self-contained movement. Combs and Big Boi wanted to take their time and build her profile organically and allow the music to grow rather than put out a hot single which everyone jumps on, and then they fade, because it's just something of the moment. 2007-11, Beginnings and The ArchAndroid. In 2007, Monáe released her first solo work, titled Metropolis. It was originally conceived as a concept album in 4 parts, or suites, which were to be released through her website and MP3 download sites. After the release of the first part of the series, Metropolis, Sweet Eye, in mid-2007, these plans were altered following her signing with Sean Combs' label, Bad Boy Records. Later in the year, the label gave an official and physical release to the first suite in August 2008, which was retitled Metropolis, The Chase Suite, and included 2 new tracks. The EP was critically acclaimed, garnering Monáe a 51st Annual Grammy Awards Grammy nomination For Best Urban/Alternative Performance for her single, Many Moons, festival appearances and opening slots for indie pop band of Montreal. Monet also toured as the opening act for band No Doubt on their summer 2009 tour. Her single, Open Happiness, was featured in the 2009 season finale of American Idol. Monet told MTV about her concept for her new album, and also discussed her alter ego named Cindy Mayweather. She said, "Cindy is an android and I love speaking about the android, because the other people are afraid of the other, and I believe we're going to live in a world with androids, because of technology, and the way it advances." The first album she was running, because she had fallen in love with a human and she was being disassembled for that. In a November 2009 interview, Monet revealed the title and concept behind her album, The ArchAndroid. The album was released on May 18, 2010. The second and third suites of Metropolis are combined into this full-length release, in which Monet's alter ego, Cindy Mayweather, also the protagonist of Metropolis, the Chase Suite, becomes a messianic figure to the android community of Metropolis. Monet noted that she plans to shoot a video for each song on the ArchAndroid and create a film, graphic novel, and a touring Broadway musical based on the album. The Metropolis concept series draws inspiration from a wide range of musical, cinematic, and other sources, ranging from Alfred Hitchcock to Debussy to Philip K. Dick. However, the series puts Fritz Lang's 1927 silent film Metropolis, which Monet referred to as the godfather of science fiction movies, in special regard. Aside from sharing a name, they also share visual styles, conceptual themes and political goals, using expressionistic future scenarios to examine and explore contemporary ideas of prejudice and class. Both also include a performing female android, though to very different effect. Where Metropolis android Maria is the evil, havoc-sowing double of the messianic figure to the city's strictly segregated working class, Monet's messianic android muse Cindy Mayweather represents an interpretation of androids as that segregated minority, which Monet describes as the other. And I feel like all of us, whether in the majority or the minority, felt like the other at some point. Monet received the Vanguard Award from the American Society of Composers, Authors and Publishers at the Rhythm and Soul Music Awards in 2010. Monet covered Charlie Chaplin's Smile on Billboard.com in June 2010. In an NPR interview in September 2010, Monet stated that she is a believer in, and a proponent of time travel. Monet performed Tightrope during the second elimination episode of the 11th season of Dancing with the Stars on September 28, 2010. Monet performed at the 53rd Annual Grammy Awards in 2011 alongside artists Bruno Mars and B.O.B. Monet performed the synth section of B.O.B.'s song, Nothing on You, and she then performed her track, Cold War, with B.O.B. on the guitar and Mars on the drums. Their performance received a standing ovation. Her single, Tightrope, was featured on the American Idol's Live Tour 2011, performed by Pia Toscano, Haley Reinhart, Naima Adedapo, and Thea Megia. Monet was featured in Fun.'s hit single, We Are Young, and also performed an acoustic version of the song with lead singer Nate Truce and the band. 2012-14, The Electric Lady and Other Projects. Monet was also featured on Do My Thing, Forest Hill's sophomore studio album, All of Me. In June 2012, Monet performed two new songs, Electric Lady and Dorothy Dandridge Eyes, from her then upcoming sophomore studio album, The Electric Lady, at the Toronto Jazz Festival. In July 2012, for the second year in a row, she appeared at the renowned North Sea Jazz Festival in Europe, as well as in the 46th edition of the Montreux Jazz Festival in Switzerland on the 14th. In August 2012, Monet was chosen as CoverGirl's newest spokeswoman. In September 2012, Monet performed at Carolina Fest in support of President Obama, just before the 2012 Democratic National Convention in Charlotte. In October 2012, Monet starred in a commercial for the Sonos wireless hi-fi home audio system, and appeared in a Sonos commercial in 2012 with Deep Cotton. Monet's first single from The Electric Lady, Queen featuring Erykah Badu, premiered on SoundCloud and made available for download purchase at the iTunes Store on April 23, 2013. Queen garnered 31,000 digital sales according to Nielsen SoundScan, with the accompanying music video gaining 4 million YouTube views within its first week of release. In her 2013 interview with Fuse, Monet states that Queen was inspired by conversations she shared with Erykah Badu about the treatment of marginalized people, especially African American women, and the title is an acronym for those who are marginalized. Q standing for the queer community, U standing for the untouchables, the first E standing for immigrants, the latter standing for excommunicated, and N standing for Negroid. Thematically, The Electric Lady continues the utopian cyborg concepts of its predecessors, while presenting itself in more plain-spoken, introspective territory in addition to experimenting with genres beyond conventional funk and soul such as jazz, pop-punk, gospel and woozy, sensual vocal ballads. The album features guest appearances by Prince, Solange Knowles, aforementioned Miguel and Esperanza Spalding, with production from previous collaborator Deep Cotton and Roman Gian Arthur, and was released to critical acclaim on September 10, 2013. On September 14, 2013, Monet performed along with Chic at the iTunes Festival in London. On September 28, Monet performed at the Global Citizens Festival in Central Park alongside Stevie Wonder. Monet performed as the featured musical guest on Saturday Night Live October 26 with host Edward Norton. Her voice is heard as veterinarian Dr. Monet in the movie Rio 2, released in the US on April 11, 2014, and her song, What Is Love, was featured on the soundtrack. In April 2014, Monet was invited to perform along with Tessanne Chin, Patti LaBelle, Aretha Franklin, Jill Scott, Ariana Grande, and Melissa Etheridge at the White House as a part of their PBS broadcast, Women of Soul, event, which celebrated American women artists whose work has left an indelible and profound impact on American national musical culture. She performed Goldfinger, Tightrope, and joined in on the all-inclusive performance of Proud Mary. On April 14, 2014, Monet was the recipient of the inaugural Harvard College Women's Center Award for Achievement in Arts and Media for her achievements as an artist, advocate and feminist. She tweeted earlier that day, "Headed to Harvard to meet the beautiful ladies in the Women's Center. Can't believe I'm the honoree today. Just so thankful." She was also recognized as the 2014 Woman of the Year by the Harvard College Black Men's Forum at their annual Celebration of Black Women Gala. In mid-2014, Monet had an interview with Fuse where she teased a follow-up to The Electric Lady. "I'm working on a new, cool creative project called Ethos," she said. "It's a big concept and you're not going to see it coming. It'll just land." Later in 2014, Monet was featured on Sergio Mendes' latest album, Magic. She sings on the track titled, Visions of You. 2015-2017, new deal with Epic Records, The Ethos, Moonlight, and Hidden Figures. In February 2015, Monet along with Epic Records and its CEO and chairman L.A. Reid announced that Monet's independent label Wonderland Arts Society has signed a landmark joint venture partnership to revamp the label, now known as Wonderland Records, and to promote the artists on the label. Jem Aswad of Billboard called Monet a mini-mogul because of the deal and revealed that the partnership will bow in May with a 5-song compilation EP called The Ethos, including tracks from rapper Jadena, Roman, Saint Beauty, Deep Cotton and Monet herself. With this move, Monet has become one of the few black women who run their own independent record label in conjunction with a major record label. In late March 2015, Monet released the single, Yoga, off of The Ethos. In mid-2015 Monet attended various fashion events including London Fashion Week and the 2015 Met Gala. She began collaborating with Nile Rodgers for a new Chic album and Duran Duran for the album Paper Gods, their first album in over 5 years, and their single called Pressure Off. On August 14, 2015, Monet, alongside the body of her Atlanta-based Wonderland Arts Society collective, performed her protest song, Hell You Talmbout, that raised awareness of the many black lives that were taken as a result of police brutality, with lyrics such as Walter Scott, Say His Name, Jermaine Reed, Say His Name, Philip White, Say His Name. Eric Garner, Say His Name, Trayvon Martin, Say His Name, Sandra Bland, Say Her Name, Sharonda Singleton, Say Her Name. She also gave a speech about police brutality after her performance on NBC's Today Show. Yes, Lord. God bless America. God bless all the lost lives to police brutality. We want white America to know that we stand tall today. We want black America to know we stand tall today. We will not be silenced. By March 15, 2016, First Lady Michelle Obama proclaimed that she had assembled a collaborative track featuring vocals from Monet, Kelly Clarkson, Zendaya, and Missy Elliott, alongside production credit from pop songwriter Diane Warren and Elliott, titled, This Is For My Girls. The iTunes exclusive record will be used to both coincide with Obama's Texan SXSW speech and to promote the First Lady's Third World Educational Initiative, Let Girls Learn. In October 2016, Monet made her big screen acting debut in the critically acclaimed film Moonlight, alongside Naomi Harris, Andre Holland, and Mahershala Ali. Monet also starred in the film Hidden Figures, alongside actresses Taraji P. Henson and Octavia Spencer. The film was released in December 2016. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?